Elmina Castle was erected by Portugal in 1482 as São Jorge da Mina, St. George of the Mine Castle, also known simply as Mina or Vitória da Mina in present-day Elmina, Ghana, formerly known as the Gold Coast.
So like other famous castles in Africa, the Elmina Castle is infamous as trading points for slaves during the transatlantic slave trade era for several centuries. And again, it is a huge tourist attraction for visitors, especially from the United States and Europe.
It was the first trading post built on the Gulf of Guinea, so it is the oldest European building in existence below the Sahara. First established as a trade settlement, the castle later became one of the most important stops on the routes of the Atlantic slave trade. The Dutch seized the fort from the Portuguese in 1637 and took over the Portuguese Gold Coast in 1642. The slave trade continued under the Dutch until 1814. In 1871, the Dutch Gold Coast, including the fort, became a possession of the British Empire.
Erected by the Portuguese in 1482 in present-day Elmina in Ghana's central region, this was actually the first to be built along the coast in West Africa.
Granted the Gold Coast its independence in 1957, and control of the castle was transferred to the nation formed out of the colony, present-day Ghana. Historical site and was a major filming location for Werner Herzog's Cobra Verde. The castle is recognized by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site. Just like now, the people living along the West African coast at Elmina around the 15th century were presumably Fanti. Upon its completion, Elmina was established as a proper city. A Zambuja was named governor, and King Zhao added the title Lord of Guinea to his noble titles.
Mr. Edwahin will take us through the history of this castle. Mr. Edwahin, we know this was built by the Portuguese, but there were takeovers subsequently. Yes. Tell us about it.
Yeah, in 1637, the Dutch took it over from the Portuguese. Then in 1781, the British attempted taking the castle with the Dutch, but they failed. However, in 1872, the Dutch ceded the castle to the British through negotiations. So from 1872, this castle became the property of the British.
Okay.
But the British came to this castle at a time that the slave trade was over. But that does not mean that the British did not take part in the slave trade. They did, but they used another castle. That's Cape Coast Castle, not this one.
Okay. So what was the main business for this castle then?
The Portuguese first came here to trade in gold and ivory, built the castle and used the rooms on the ground floor as their warehouses, storerooms. But when the slave trade started in the 16th century, that 1500, the storerooms were converted into dungeons for the captives. And all the rooms down here and all those there were for the men. They were separated from the women. The women were held up there. British did not use this castle for slavery. They used Cape Coast Castle. The Portuguese and the Dutch used this castle for trade.
Okay. So we are here at the male slave dungeon.
Yes.
What typically went on here?
This was the exit to the ship. This was the transit dungeon for the men to the ship. Waiting room.
Okay. But take us through the process, because there are some cells there.
Yes.
So typically what will happen to you when you're brought into the castle?
When we were brought in here, you were taken to the burial dungeon. If you were a woman, to the female dungeons. Men, to the male dungeons. Over there we have condemned cell, death cell. Sometimes some of the captives wanted to fight to get their freedom. And today we shall call those people freedom fighters. They were arrested, sent there, and were made to die through starvation.
In the cell?
There. Wow. So once you were there, no hope for you. That will be the end of you.
So what sort of people come here?
Currently?
Yeah, currently. I mean, because we see a lot of tourists.
Yes.
But where do you know where they come from?
People visit from all over the world. Japanese are coming, Chinese are coming, Africans are coming, African Americans are coming. People are coming from all over the world.
To do what exactly?
To see the place, to see what happened. No, they come here to see, if you like, to do vertical history. They might have read, they might have been told. So they come here to verify whatever they've heard or read is true.
Okay.
Built in 1506. Portuguese were Catholics. Catholic religion started in this country from this village. So the first church, first proper Catholic church in the Gold Coast, now Ghana. Okay. Built in 1596. Big man going to lead.
Okay, so this was the entrance,
yes,
right?
Yeah,
but it looks very small.
Yes.
I mean, the exit, it looks really, really small. Yeah. How did they squeeze themselves through?
Bringing them down from the hinterland. When I say hinterland, I mean Ashanti Kingdom, Northern Ghana, Burkina Faso, Mali, Guinea, Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, Benin, walking all the way down here and keeping them in a dungeon for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, made them weak and skinny. So when the ships came, by all means, they could pass through there. And they were too weak to fight back. And the sea was much closer. That's receded. It's natural.
In 1637, the fort was taken over by the Dutch, who made it the capital of the Dutch Gold Coast. In 1871, the Dutch territory was taken over by the British in the context of the Anglo-Dutch Sumatra treaties of that year.
From the Elmina Castle, the beautiful vegetative scenery of the Kakum National Park concludes Inside Out.
The Kakum National Park is a 375 square kilometer national park located in the central region of Ghana. The 375 square kilometer park was first established in 1960. It is located 30 kilometers north of Cape Coast and Elmina, near the small town of Abrafo. The Park Welcome Center contains a restaurant, a forest lodge, a picnic area, a camping area, and a wildlife education center.
We're losing much of the rainforest that we have. About 100 years ago, we used to have a huge block of rainforest, all the way from Guinea-Bissau, to Ghana. Unfortunately, due to human activities and other things, it's been fragmented so badly that we are losing everything. We do not know actually the next 50 years what will happen to us in Ghana. This is some of the beauty of a rainforest. This is a drawing, a painting of a bongo, and in real terms, this is a horn of a bongo. A bongo is an antelope that looks like a cow, sometimes a little bit higher than a cow. Very secretive animal. It also lives in isolation, but it can be very dangerous if you do not approach it, very well.
At the Kakum National Park, gamekeepers are specially trained in the medical and cultural significance of local foliage. Interestingly, this reserve contains some of the world's rare animal and plant species.
National Park has a long series of hanging bridges at the forest canopy level, known as the Canopy Walkway. It is secured by a series of nets and wires for safety purposes. An additional viewing platform that will allow visitors to climb into the canopy without braving the canopy walkway is currently under construction.
At 22 meters from the ground, I am trekking on the canopy walkway. It's a very scary experience, but you can feel the forest. Just take a look.
At 40 meters height, the visitor can approach the plants and animals from a vantage point that would otherwise be inaccessible to people. The canopy walkway passes over 7 bridges and runs over a length of 330 meters.
Which country?
From Gabon, but in fact I am French.
French, okay. And then your name?
My name is Malik.
Malik
From Senegal, but now living in Kakum.
Okay. So I won't ask you why you are here, but so why are you here?
Malik, maybe you can answer.
I mean, this particular place.
Yeah, this particular place, yeah, because you are happy to discover first what we can see outside of the capital city, Accra, and you were told that there is a nice place to discover here.
Okay.
And we experience some particular experience here.
So you went on the canopy walkway?
We went to the canopy walkway.
How was the experience?
Yeah, I was sweating all over. And I'm happy to be back here.
But how was it like for you?
It was a very exciting experience.
Did you get scared at any point?
Yeah, also. But it's very pleasant to be able to visit this forest, because tropical forests are not easy to visit because the trees are so big and so. And by this way, it's very nice to have a global view and to see how big is it. Very impressive.
Would you recommend this place to anybody?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Especially the canopy one, yeah.
Thank you so much for talking
You're
to
welcome.
us.
What's your name?
Mama V.
Mama V.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, nice to meet Mama
You
V.
too.
Amber Conant,
From what country?
the United States of America.
US.
US.
Okay, and then you are?
I'm David Hagopian, and I'm also from the United States of America.
Okay.
And I'm Nali Bunila from the U.S. as well.
So what are you doing here in Ghana?
Well, we're all Iowa State students. We're doing a travel course for study abroad, and we're basically, this is one of our stops.
We're looking at the natural resources and soil properties in Ghana to assess their ability to grow your crops like cocoa and mango. And so we're traveling around the country from Accra to Cape Coast and Kumasi, looking at not only the soils and the agriculture here, but also the sites and all the nice things that Ghana has to offer.
Okay, so you are here at the Kakum National Park. What have you discovered so far?
So far here, we've discovered heights. Both Nali and myself are terrified of them, so it was it's an experience for both of us. But we've met a lot of really cool people. So.
How about you?
You
went on a canopy?
Yes. For myself, I'm a forestry minor. I'm studying forestry, and I thought this was a very interesting thing to look at the very virgin forest land, and I thought it was just, compared to the rest of all the area around it, I thought this was really unique.
So that's it for this edition of Inside Out. Join me again next week for more African discoveries.
Esi ya buaye mami nyangwere jama femena jebe wizama zama nasima blema obadama unangwe jeze ayani maya abanga bada misedie ayani maya abanga bada ze esi baba bana mwa maya bwani waya wewe kazi bolo mina bolo c'est que bolo